the headphones too. Here we
All
go.
right. All right. Hello, everybody. We're back. New year, same team, same worries. So let's see how things are going. But first, let's welcome our guest, John Grow, president of UFC Toronto and the coordinator of Juventus North America. Welcome, John.
Grazie, Giulio.
Pietro Nardone, president of Vancouver. Welcome. And
Ciao,
then we
ragazzi.
have the usual podcasters, Edo and Bilo from UFC Hollywood. Welcome,
The usual
guys.
suspects.
The usual suspects. Correct.
Oh,
All
Happy New
right.
Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Wow.
We wished a little better start of the year. Could go worse. Let's hope not. So I would say we start with the last thing that happened, like the Super Cup game. A lot of people angry. A lot of people worried. Is this the Juventus we are now? This is what we've become, or is just a moment? What's going on? It was the goalie's fault. It's blah. All right. So what do you guys think? What happened? I'll start with Pietro, and then we can go around the room.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a simple answer. I think we need to go back to last year when everybody wanted to make changes with Allegri, right? Everybody was Allegri out. We need a new direction, which is great. I mean, I'm always for having a new direction. But then us Juventini, we don't have the patience, including myself. Okay. I think what Giuntoli is doing is getting rid of everybody from the old guard and putting in people that he chooses, and it's going to take time. So yesterday, the day before, whenever I'm trying to erase that from my memory, the game against AC Milan, it shows exactly what Juve is at now. It's in a transition period. So we either going to have patience and give this guy time, or we have to restart again, and Juve will not restart again. So if you're asking me whose fault it is, it's nobody's fault. It's the new transition going to the new Juve. Do I agree with it or not? It's not for me to say. But if we made this choice of going ahead with something different and getting rid of the old guard, we need that patience. And we cannot point fingers.
When you look at the game, like, Juve Milan, the specific game, like what do you think happened? Like why we found ourselves in that position? It looks like we were in control, and then last 20 minutes everything went.
We found ourselves in that position because we don't have senators who know how to handle the game. Okay, I can tell you one thing: if Szczesny was in net there, that goal would have never gone in, and the penalty shot would have been saved. Okay, so if we want to start pointing fingers, right? But we can't do that. We have to give our new team the time. What happened there? There's no leader. There's nobody who's going to take the ball. I mean, I thought that Locatelli had a little bit more resilience. I mean, giving a penalty shot like that is, I mean, when I play,
it's not a penalty shot, to be in all fairness. Sorry.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's not a PK. So that's another argument, but that's not a PK.
But you should not be in that position, John.
The player team behind him, Pietro, it's so difficult in that type of a situation. It's a lazy foot. It happens. I just think that I agree with you that we have to give time. I am a fully
Giampiero, you're 110% right. But where are the other players around him tell him, hey, watch out, somebody's coming. Hey, this guy's coming. Like, do you understand? There's no communication.
Zero.
Can you imagine if Barzagli, Bonucci, and Chiellini were there? Would we ever? I mean, there was not gonna. The guy would not have a chance to try to get a penalty shot. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we were blessed. We were blessed and spoiled for many years with the best player in all of best goalie in all time of anything, a gentleman who could direct traffic, and then you had three marshals who played very well and understood each other's fiber for many years. I think that the display and the comments made by Mota after the game is exactly what he wanted. I think it's ruthless and raw understanding. I think Mota himself used the call, but when he said that there was no the winning isn't like it was to
An
show.
obsession.
I think it was an absolute display of he used that opportunity to display how weak the team really is. And it's in my opinion, I hate to say it, every trophy you go for a win. I think he really did use this opportunity to exploit where our weaknesses are. Like there isn't 95 plus minutes in the legs. And whether it be we blame J Medical, and them going after insurance money, and that's how Juve is making back their debt or what have you. I think that he's actually done that. I think it does showcase where our weaknesses are. I also am in full agreement with Pietro in Giuntoli's obsession, and I do believe, in our president's chat, Giulio, you're aware, so are you, Pietro, where Andrea Brunetti of San Diego made a great point of saying obsession versus
Equilibrium.
equilibrium and understanding. I thought that was an amazing point. Where other teams are obsessed with winning, we're obsessed with being proper and setting ourselves up not for today, for the long run. And I do, I use this term. I use it. I don't want to go political here, so I'm happy to note that our prime minister will be stepping down and by Wednesday and screwing off. So outside of that is when you take possession. I use this phrase with everybody. When you take possession of a house that's been abused by 15 years, and you walk in, Giulio, you bought the house. You walk in with your wife, and she sees the house. She's like, "What did you buy?" In your mind, you see vision. You see a project. That project's going to take 2-3 years, and you see something beyond before. Obviously, Giuntoli sees something, and so does the team around him that says it. For us, we're not privy to that information. We're on the outside family as Juventus fans, and we go forward. But I do believe Giuntoli, Calvo, let's not forget Francesco Calvo, okay, have a vision for this team that is, I'm going to be very, very blunt and raw, that is not in any resemblance to what was there in the previous regime. And I'm talking about Agnelli, Paratici, and co. Manna. They do not want anything centered on the history of what was before. They want to create a new dynamic Juventus that is separate from what the old regime is.
So when Thiago Motta now goes to the press conference and talks about I'm not obsessed with winning, and whatnot, that created everybody's be talking about that. Do you guys think, and I'm gonna ask Kedo here, do you guys think that he is just trying to protect the team, meaning trying to take away some pressure from the team because they're not ready, or is just misspoke, or he hasn't understood where he is?
I mean, it could be all these things, but to me, it was just a very, I wouldn't say ill-advised way of phrasing things, because it opened up, all these different interpretations. Like the guy saying, "Oh, this guy doesn't care about winning as much as he should because he's coaching Juve," or somebody else is saying, "Well, maybe it's just, the word obsession can be interpreted in different ways." To me, it just looked like a rookie mistake in terms of communication when you are not coaching Bologna, not coaching La Spezia, and you're coaching Juve. So I wouldn't read too much into it, because for a guy who's been who played at a very high level, who won pretty much everything,
yeah,
I cannot just say that or believe that this guy doesn't care about winning. Like, to get to that level of playing and winning, you have to have some sort of obsession. Like
Right.
it takes 30 years of your life training twice a day. You're away from your family a lot of the time. You go through injuries and recoveries and stuff like that. If you're not driven by some sort of obsession, you don't get to that level. So I just cannot imagine him not being obsessed in the way we understand the term. But it could be also that he doesn't want to, because obsession, they can be unhealthy sometimes. They can get out of hand. And maybe he thinks the team is not, equipped to handle that sort of edge feeling where if you're just below, it's okay. If you're just above, then it gets dangerous. So maybe he's trying to protect them. I don't know. But I wouldn't read too much into it. Like, what worries me is not what he says during the.
Okay. Are you worried about what you're seeing on the field, on the pitch? I mean, 11 draws out of 18. It looks like when we find ourselves in a position that we lose control of the game, we're not able to come back. That's probably the main issue here.
I mean, my main worry right now is our defense. I understand they've been playing pretty much the same 3-4 guys every single game. So there is some degree of, they're tired, it's hard to maintain focus for all these games and not having a break. But, if you remember, Bremer got injured, and then like the next few games, the defense was like scrambling, and I'm thinking, oh geez, that's bad. And then we sort of like found some new equilibrium in the back, and I said, well, that's good. It took us a few games to get it there, but we're there. And now everybody scores against us. I mean, even in the last game against Milan, you think, okay, the two episodes are really, they stand out because the penalty, again, Locatelli should not have, should have made a better choice. That's fair. But how did we get there? If not for a crazy tackle by Savona, either Teo scores or there's a penalty there. All because we were defending at, essentially the midfield line, and with a simple pass from the goalie, they just caught us completely out of position. Like a simple pass, one pass. And the same thing for the second goal. Like that, deflections, crazy. If you try that 100 times, 99 times, it just doesn't go there. That's the way it works. But that one time, of course, it just went in the only place it shouldn't have gone. But how did we get there? There's like Cambiaso defending 10 yards up. Kalulu at some point decides, okay, I'm just going to run all the way up too.
Okay, but why are these players doing this? Who are they just lost? They don't have clear directions. What the heck? I mean, these are professionals that have experience.
That's a good question. I'm starting to see there is a lack of, I don't know, focus. I think they're tired. Like they play decent, 65, 70 minutes, and then we start just losing oxygen to our mind, and then you start making poor decisions, poor timing in your decisions. Because the second goal, they play 3 passes, and essentially, if Gatti doesn't deflect that pass, Abraham is just standing all by himself with the ball. So it's nothing crazy. They didn't play anything crazy. They just made a simple combination, and they were essentially scoring. So that's my worry. It's just our defense is too up and down, way too much up and down. And I was expecting, I'm not saying we should have had somebody new already signed and, training with the team, but we knew this was a concern for the last 3 months. And we're still thinking about, well, that guy maybe could be a good fit. The other guy could be a good fit. And it's like January 5th, and we're still talking about options. So that's a concern.
Bilo, quickly, what do you think about that game and that question there? Are you worried? Is there anything that worries you?
No, I worry not, because the first 65 minutes is what we want to see for the team doing the whole game. So we have that. We have that part. We have the idea that we are following him. I think we are fragile mentally. because the first bad episode happened to us, we melt like snow. It's not possible that you allowed a penalty situation like that and your game change.
But why?
You go-
Is it like
you go
the
in panic-
coach
you go in
that is
panic mode.
is the
No, I don't
coach
think
hasn't
it's
been
coach.
able to,
No, I don't think it's coach.
give that to them? It's just the nature
No,
of
I
the
don't think-
players
I
we
don't think-
have.
No, I think a little bit is a combination of things like the fact that basically our defense is been playing with the same players, like Edo said. I really agree with that. I was so happy to finally have the wings back and that we can make some changes. And of course, after this game, I could see Sao 2 minutes before to go to inside the pitch, injure himself. And already the all play game goes like upside in the air because you have all the change to make and multiple situation. And now you're going to put Yildiz there that he play amazing on the right, by the way, to me.
Right.
The best
Even
thing of
better.
the game, I would say Bandula left and Yildiz there right. That was the combination that was really working for us.
Right.
So that part is there. And if you see like the age of all these players, is amazing. The problem, I saw that comment down there. Yeah, it cannot be Locatelli the leader of our team. That for sure.
Who's the leader?
The moment only the coach
We don't have a leader on the field.
on the field. Maybe it could be like at some point if we start to like play multiple games together, we will see Nico Gonzalez. It seems like the one that's a little more personality right now is Tuam, for example. But they're all young players. That
I hope Koch Miners.
it's not like because you good, you have personality. It's two different things. So it's something we still have to find. At the moment, we don't have the player. It's clear. The fact that we are talking about it, it will be not even a discussion because you will like spot that right the moment you see the game. Yeah, this is our leader. This is our leader. No, we don't have it right now. Each games depends on what it is. Yeah, Cambiaso right now, after the first half of the season, was amazing. Right now, he's having, after the Lecce game, multiple episodes.
I think it's a physical. I think it's a physical. I mean, he played a lot of games and
he overplayed.
he's tired.
He got injured. He came back. And now he's not the starter. So it's difficult to sometimes to come back from injury and then not be like at the center like you were before. I don't know. What I would say in general, this team needs support from us. From us as a fan base, we need to support them because there is no other way. It's not like Inter fan are going to support Juve. So we are Juventini and we have to support Juve. We have to support our coach, we have to support our general manager, and we have to support our players. Guys, right now, if we don't do it right now, when we do it, we have to help the young team. It's the only thing we can do. And just waiting for like the first word that the coach says in a press conference that we don't like and pointing finger and say, oh, this is not the Juve mentality. He said other things in 6 minutes. He said one word that says, oh, we are not obsessed about winning. It's not like the rest was like completely out of this world, whatever he was saying. So taking the thing out
is a general.
We need to help him. We need to help him. We need to help everybody.
There's a general habit in the fan base to quickly freak out when things go wrong and start pointing fingers right and left. Myself, I've told you this, guys, I think the main issue is that we don't have the Senators are not champions. You know, it's the first time that we have Senators that are not champions. If Senators, who are they? Locatelli, Gatti, I don't even know. Vlahovic, who are they? You know, so these guys that are the one, and at this point, if you take Danilo out, they've been there the longest, are not champions. They're not leaders. And those that are champions are young, and we need to wait. So we
but like
but why?
Yeah, we clean
but why we have those Senators that are not champions? Who made the decision to get rid of the Senators?
You know, the Senators was time. The age.
No. That's not correct. Look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a bit.
Please.
Okay. There was no need to change the goalie. Okay, no need whatsoever. Okay. We should have brought Di Gregorio in, let him learn what Juve is all about. Just like Chesney came in when Buffon was around. See, it's really hard. Juventus is not a regular team. I'm 55 years old, older than most of you, all of you probably. Juventus is a way of life. Okay. It's like I teach my kids how to behave in life, including Juve. And Juventus is like that. It's a family that goes from father to son and so forth. We didn't do that. Giuntoli is underestimated what Juventus is all about. It's gonna be fine at the end because Juve will always be on their feet. But I think he didn't understand what Juve is all about. And Motta realized pretty quick that he's not at Bologna. Okay. So we're making some crucial mistakes in the way that we're growing this team, that we're trying to change too fast, in my opinion. And I'm not Giuntoli, I'm not anybody. But that's what I see as a fan that's been a fan of Juve since I was born.
But Pietro, if you have like your boss that is a can and tells you, man, you gotta cut the salary, you bring it down to, I don't know, say a number to another number, and one of the key things you can do is got the highest paycheck.
Sure.
Situation was that we got stuck in that kind of weird spot because he's supposed to go in Saudi Arabia and get money for that. For some weird reason, the deal didn't happen. But we already decided we are moving away from him.
Yes, but then we get Coop and we get the David Luiz that are doing what?
No,
that's $100 million right there.
Yeah, but it's different. It's not different.
It's
not salary money. This money is investing in players that you believe in, and unfortunately, right now is Coop and David Luiz that are making a difference.
Are you telling me that? $5 million, €5 million is going to break the bank for Juventus? No, that wasn't the reason.
If you have a salary cap, yes. If you have a salary cap and you want to bring down the salary of your goalie, you decide to go that way.
If you notice that all the strong-minded players, whether you agree with them or not, are gone.
Yeah,
at Juve, they're gone. It's not about the salary. It's about Giuntoli, and I think Giuntoli would do a great job, but he's changing things too fast. It's about him wanting to have control of the team.
But he said that he's gonna take a couple of like transfer market to make it a team.
I think the mistakes were made before Giuntoli, guys.
I agree. Giulio, the
mistakes were made before Giuntoli.
If I could hang Paratici, I would do it myself.
Me too. I'll help you.
London, and I would go and hang him personally. I think that there's a lot of the suffering here is damage control of what was. Look, Ferrero is just there in order to manage from the accounting and get this team to where it was. Last year, I had the pleasure of being in front of Francesco Calvo in Torino, and right from his mouth, he said next year is ground zero. And you're taking that from a very important figure, probably outside of Ferrero being the president, Calvo being the next big guy for Juventus. So when they know, and when they come to you and say I said this repeatedly to a few other people, this market, January, is more important than our summer market that we had. This will be a decisive market.
I don't think so.
Oh, it will be. This will be.
It doesn't make any difference. There's nothing.
It is, because as of November, Juventus hit financial milestones that they needed in order to be productive in a transfer window. What they needed to do in order to compete in the transfer market that we had in the summer was to sell off investments that came specifically from our 21 team or whatever, the next gen. So if you look at the money we got back for players like Hoyson and Co. and what have you. And even now with Fagioli, because he will be unfortunately on his way out. These are now necessary evils, but we will be doing work. Juventus will not be an active player in these summer markets where players we have traditionally done more vital changes and acquisitions during the winter market than any other team in Serie A. And that is an absolute from Vlahovic to Kulusevski. We have been a very
Barzagli.
but yeah, so we've been very active in the winter markets, and you guys have traditionally been that way.
Snyder.
Yes. So
Snyder.
Terrible.
I mean, there are a few things that we need to mention, and I go back to a few comments. Reno said like, "Oh, we spent 200 million. We spent 200 million, but we sold for almost 200 million between salaries and what's his name? The guy we sold to Roma. Why I'm missing the name? Sule, Hausen. I mean, what's your name? Ealing Junior, Barranechea. I mean, we don't have to forget what they did on that front. So yes, we spent. In the end, if you look, we're like zero. We spent 200, we made 200 between salaries and whatnot. So I think they did a fantastic job. They did just a huge mistake, which was like leaving Vlahovic alone up there. They underestimated what was going on with Milik, and now we find in this spot. And the defense, they were unlucky because Bremer, the breaks after 6 games, and Cabal, that breaks after 6 games, and now we found ourselves with Lukaku being a center back when instead he's the right back, and Gatti, and not having backups. That's unlucky. So when you say I think January is going to be important, I think it's going to be important because we are in a difficult situation. If we want to make it to Champions League, we need a couple of players. I don't think it's going to be important for the next 3 years, or maybe it will. Now they're going to make some important buys now. Maybe they will.
They have to.
But I think they have to. There was the guys of from Pueblo Juve, they were saying, so what are we going to sign? I agree with them. We need to sign 2 defenders, 1 striker, minimum. Like minimum, because Vlahovic is not capable of holding the weight. We've seen it. Like
2
it's not.
defenders are coming 100%.
And 2 defenders, we need them. I mean, we really need them.
It is 100%. That is no doubt in your mind. You can shake your head up. The thing that I'm more worried about is not getting the forward, because Juve is more concerned on the only thing that's going to be our saving grace is, I'll be honest with you, Vlahovic will be here till June. He is not.
I agree.
He's not leaving in January. Anybody who says he's leaving in January has zero. He's not leaving in January. We can't go back and lose. He's here. We need to bring in, and our only saving grace. There was heavy talks, and I knew this before. It was almost a sure thing that Jonathan David was going to be a Juventino in January at 10 to 15 million to think, because they're going to lose him for free in June. And Juve is the only team that was offering them remotely type money. But with their success in the CL and what they're doing, and I don't know where Lille is completely, but there's some success or what have you. There may be some weight. I don't know why they're going to lose the kid for free. That Jonathan David, because of his relationship with Weah, and also even McKennie, and bringing really, the guy is a poacher. And he's a remarkable poacher. He beat us. And when I tell people this guy is the real deal, even if he is a Canadian, he is that strong. But Zirkzee is probably our best bet coming to Juventus as a striker.
Because he knows him. He knows him.
And he wants to come and play for him. So he is the closest thing. Now it really is. I'm going to tell you, it's the only thing that's stopping Zirkzee from being announced tomorrow is the absolute obligation to buy, where Juve wants the option to buy, not obligation. That's the only thing that's stopping this deal from going through. That's it. 0. Nothing else. That's it. Once that gets determined, but Zirkzee will be a Juventino.
But can we buy David? We can't. I think we don't have a slot for him. He's not we have all the slots on the team done for
for
non
the extra EU.
We can't buy him.
Well,
We would have to get rid of one of the slots. So I don't
Yeah.
think.
Well, if Danilo
can
is
have it.
going, maybe that frees up this slot.
listen, these are all movements where
Yeah.
again that legitimize. Like I love Danilo, and for maybe some others don't. I have an absolute appreciation
As-
for
yeah,
that.
absolutely. As a person,
I met him. I met him. Matteo was with me too. The guy is a gentleman, and he is an absolute. He is a true leader. I'm gonna tell you whether people want to hear on the pitch, whatever. I saw it even against. I was there live for Manchester City game. He was an absolute beast. But Juventus have an agenda, and that agenda will not. They will not step away from what they want to achieve. It is done. So they're close to their chest. How often do we get information, Giulio, Pietro, Bilo, Edo, that we are working on 3-4 weeks of information ahead of time when Juve? Typically, we hear noise of what Juve is doing right now 3-4 days. And Nico Schira is the only guy right now that I would absolutely follow and actually take true. Di Marzio to a degree, but Schira is bang on, and he is probably the closest to Juve in terms of thing. And if I had to follow anybody and go, it would be Schira. I'm 100% sure that Juve first will go with the two defenders and then work on an attacker. They need
to do it right away, though. Meaning they need to do it this week
yes.
Because we have the derby. We'll talk about it in a minute on Saturday, and then we have Atalanta, the game we didn't play this weekend, next Tuesday, and then we have again Napoli. I mean Milan. I think Milan, Napoli, and there's
Milan.
Champions
Torino
League
too.
coming back. Like I mean, we need players tomorrow. Like between tomorrow and Friday, we need to sign 2 players because I don't know how much hours have in them at this point. And this
Are
month
we going shopping, Giulio? Andiamo a fare le spese.
Sì, con le
Let's go. Which
to me, if we like thinking like we thinking, like that it was very very urgent, you will assign somebody January 2nd.
I mean, there was the Super Cup and all the stuff that happened. January 3rd, so I'm giving them.
You want the guy training with you as soon as possible if you really really need it.
They are not even Turin. That's why I expect things happening this week. You know,
we knew in October Bremer got injured and Cabal got injured a few weeks after.
Yeah, but they need to.
No, but if it was
there are a lot
urgent, but if it was urgent, you don't think we would be already in Torino?
I mean, again, the market has been open for 5 days. You know, there was the Super Cup. There's the Super Cup. They also, the market doesn't play their way like in October. Okay, January 1st they're coming with us. You know, they also play on the emotions of the situation, what the club is feeling in the moment. Sometimes they wait till their last minute to do it. It's not that simple, you know. So
I mean, if I'm selling to Juve, if I'm a Fiorentina, I'm selling a center back to Juve, and I agree to some terms in October, or I agree to the same to new terms last week, I could probably get 10 more millions out of the same player.
Thank you for choosing Fiorentina, by the way.
What's that?
Thank you for choosing Fiorentina.
Who chose Fiorentina?
You said Fiorentina had to sell something. It's pretty much our main seller.
So if I'm Fiorentina and I say, okay, in October I make a deal and I say this player for this much money. Now we're so desperately in need of a center back that we're probably willing to pay a little more than that. So they waited for as long as they could to sort of squeeze out as much as they can.
Pueblo said it right over here. I'm going to tell you guys, it's not always about going out and getting the guys. Is that we've been hosed and taken advantage of financially with all of our acquisitions in the last few years. That you want to make it. They're making a huge push for Henko right now. Like that's their primary objective is to sign Henko, and that is target number one. Not even the forward. Henko is number one target for Juventus. And could they have gone? Look, I'm going to tell you something. Again, Bertie told me that there have been players who are without a team, who have put themselves forward that we could have gotten for experience and locker room presence. But Juve have an objective outside of our frustration as seeing a thing. They have a thing. I'm telling you, Sergio Ramos was within, I would say, it would have been an apps. It would have the signature would have been. It was almost done. It actually was an conversation between Motta and Giuntoli, which actually stopped the signing of Sergio Ramos after Cabal went down. And so the thing is, if you have this mindset and it's set, it's boxed, whether we agree with it or not, they have an objective. And we, as Juventino, I think Pietro said it, goes, we're as fans, we become a little bit antsy and we want to see, and we've been spoiled, let's face it, right? 9 years, great players across our wearing our jersey, whether it be from the guys like, whether you like him or not, I do, Ronaldo to Costa to Dybala, Mandzukic, whatever. You talk about players that Tevez, Morata. We can go on and on. I mean,
forever.
We can go on and we can live in that past, or we could be. There's this. I think I said it to you guys. It's the Italian phrase: if you don't love her when you lose, don't love her when you win. And I think that as a Juventino or a Juventina, I think it's very important. I think that I have confidence in the fact that they're taking this hard line. With hard lines comes changes, and when you're flipping over, there's gonna be ruts in the road. You have a great coach who's there. Is he a phenom yet? No. I think there's other coaches who've come out and supported guys like Motta independently without making certain comments saying that, soccer winning cannot be an obsession. Like you said, it has to be controlled. So I think that, look, I know David says we're going to stuck a year. If it is Europa League next year, then it's Europa League next year. You know what I mean? Like, we were in Serie B and we came back.
That would be a disaster. I hope it doesn't come to that.
But again, we can go through Del Piero's final farewell letter to us where he says, winning Capo Cannoniere in B. It's we can say we want this. That could be potentially a disaster. It could be a terrible storm. But if it has to happen in order for this team to flip that switch and develop with the battle scars and a presence. Think about it. When success is a success. When do we learn the most? Right? When there's failure, you learn heavily when you fail. And those who don't, they don't belong on your team. And that's where I think in my and what's happening now. And I had this terrible feeling for the Coppa Italia final. I don't want to Super Coppa semifinale, and I don't want to take up more time on this. Was my father-in-law was sitting beside me, goes, this team's doing amazing. I said, I'm not convinced. He looked at me, he's like, I'll take a bet right now with you. I said, Dad, I don't want to take your money. And I wasn't being pessimistic. There was a feel as this we didn't come out and we had them here and we let go. We had Milan here, we let go.
That brings me to the next topic, which is the players, in particular the player Vlahovic, right? Why I'm saying Vlahovic or the players of that game, like we have them like here, we let them go. The players let them go. Do these players belong in Juventus in that team? Is Vlahovic like a Juventus striker? Is Vlahovic ethically Juventus player? Today came out this scandal news that he was at 6 a.m. at a hotel, I don't remember which city, where he was with 6 escorts. Like, I mean, certain say deserves the renewal just for that. But like,
what's wrong with that?
But if our main and only and most paid player at 6 a.m. is with 6 prostitutes, like in a hotel, and one of the most delicate moments of our team, what says about the ethics of these guys? Like, what's going on?
Was that before a game or something? Or is it just a general?
The timing, I don't know what had happened, but like it came out this today, and I mean, I saw the picture. It looks like it's him. Again, maybe it's out of context. I heard some audios of the guy that found the video and was sending to this reporter. Let's call it like that. And what's going on with this guy? What's going on with this guy? Somebody, please help me.
I tell you, it's other regime. Again, same thing. I think the litmus test for him was when they came. Now, look, it's obviously they were looking to see if he was going to be a long-term solution, extend the contract so we can spread the money along 7 years, or I guess 6 versus the 5 that he has, and Juve, and he said no. Now, as any employee, there are people who are watching this podcast, who are on this podcast, who are probably employees. They're saying, no, screw you. You signed the contract. You signed my contract. I'm entitled to that money. You guys can fly a kite. Now, you can call him a mercenary. You can call him non-Juventino. But from a face value, he's not obliged to do anything for this team but show up and score. Now, I'm going to say something.
Is he doing that?
In the calendar year of 2024, he was the leading scorer. Calendar year, January.
No, don't give me those numbers.
No, hold on. I'm
gonna lose my mind here.
Hold on, Julio. I'm giving you facts. So again, I'm giving you an employee to an employer thing. I'm not giving you. Here we go. I'm saying giving you stats. So if
okay, then I'll answer to those stats though.
Okay, so I get it. So if someone's coming to you and they're producing, right, and you're asking them to reduce their wage, do you have a leg to stand on as Juventus to reduce that? Now you have a decision, right? The decision is do you make them part of your long-term plans, which we all know that doesn't seem to be the case. And there's going to be a breakup, which I'm comfortable with, right? But I think that what we have here is the new regime dealing with how this player was brought in and how much money was given to him and what his signing contract was, that they don't have control over. Moving forward.
So you think he's performing?
I'm not saying he's performing.
Well, that's the point. It's like we have this striker there who is our main striker, the most paid player in the roster. And right now, to me, is performing below par.
Yeah, and he's got no support up front. Can we agree with that? He's got no support up front.
What do you mean no support from the team?
No. So do you play a game with one striker?
No, he's talking about the fact he doesn't receive a lot of passages. And
yeah, I don't.
He's one of the less involved players.
Like he doesn't have to receive a lot of passages. He needs to.
If you see the stats, what you're saying is not wrong. He's one of the players touchable less in our team.
But why?
Di Gregorio touches the ball way more than.
But why? You guys, you need to see why. That's his own fault. If you stay in the middle of the goal, instead of coming down and getting the ball, you don't get the ball.
I think Koop Minor's our biggest problem in our team. I think he's horrible. No. I think Koop Miners is horrible. If you look at his heat map, the guy is a central player. He plays the wing. It's on, guys. It's on, and he sits on Vlahovic's shoulder. Now, I'm not giving Vlahovic any excuse. Koop Miners was brought in place to link from the midfield into the attack. Koop Miners is by far our biggest flop out of all of our acquisitions.
But do you see the quality?
Yeah, but like you guys, it's been 4 months.
Do you see the quality that Koop Miners has?
Koop Miners, guys. You need to look at the whole midfield.
Like when he stops the ball, when he shoots, when he takes the penalties, when he takes the corner kicks, when he takes it from outside the box.
Vlahovic has been with us for 3 years now, and he at least misses 2 clear goals per game. That means that the clear balls for him to score in this job arrive. It doesn't need 100. It doesn't need that one that if he scored against Milan that he missed, went in, would have been 2-0 instead of 1-1. That one needed, and he fucked it up.
Yeah, so, listen, I agree. Look, there's no options up front outside of thing. We have Milik, who is going to be a lifetime J medical patient, and I'm gonna tell you that if I'm from 60 million, Koop Miners right now is not worth 15. I'm sorry, I would play Fagioli over Koop Miners every day on Sunday right now.
You guys underestimate one thing. which is one thing is playing for Atalanta, one thing is playing for Juventus.
Yeah.
One thing is being under the spotlight at Juventus when Juventus is being rebuilt, and then all of a sudden when what's his name? Douglas Luiz is injured, Thuram was injured, Koop Meiners is the first. He arrived on August 31st, so it's not that he had much time to train with. I mean, we need to give even the players.
Julio, but you got to give that same benefit. I'm playing devil's advocate. If you're saying that for Koop Meiners, why aren't you saying that for Vlahovic being our
because it's been there for 3 years.
You have more time to show his quality.
Guys,
3 years.
Guys, he
played
played
3 years.
for the Dutch national team, guys. He plays for the Dutch national team.
Can I interject?
Instead, he never scores.
Can I interject?
Pietro.
Can I interject? The only thing I want from Vlahovic is to put the ball on the net. That's what he's missing. Against Fiorentina, we tied 2-2. Just take a look how many chances Vlahovic had that
100%.
went outside the net. I'm only asking him to make sure that the goalie makes a save. That's his problem. He just misses. And I don't understand why, because he's a great player, but he doesn't have that concentration that can, like a Trezeguet, half a chance, boom, it's in, right? And he needs that, because if he had that against Fiorentina, we would have won, because Fiorentina had 2 chances and scored 2 goals.
Pietro, you want to know why?
Vlahovic had a lot more chances than Fiorentina, and he only put 1 on net.
I'll tell you why. And this is the reason why Juventus doesn't score and he scores at Fiorentina. Because the pressure at Juventus is different. That means you are not a Juventus player. I'm going to say it out loud. It means you are not a Juventus player. If you're not like that, if you're not able just to take advantage of every single tiny occasion that you have, if you need 100 to score 1, you're not a Juventus player.
I agree with you, but in order to make the full cut on him is that we've asked him to carry the entire attack with no support. And in my opinion, if we've gotten rid of players that in our midfield that with it, and we have Koop Meiners for me is the biggest flop on Juventus this season.
He hasn't done as well as expected.
Flop.
I agree.
He's an absolute flop. His heat map. Here's my only critique of Motta. Okay, is if you look at our forwards or anybody playing forward or whatever, the line is like this. There's nothing coming across running laterally. Nothing is, or there's no overlap and cut in. There's nothing. A guy like Koop Meiners, if you watch every game that he plays with Vlahovic, he's sitting on Vlahovic's number 9. Or he's on the wing and he's tight to the wing, nothing to the left, always to the right. It is absolute, and the gap in our midfield for guys like whether it be Locatelli or Thuram. Thank God Thuram is playing out of his mind. The guy is absolutely unbelievable. He's playing lights out soccer right now, football. My concern is how, as a player with knowledge. Listen, guys, we can't teach guys like these guys how to kick a ball, how to dribble, how to understand. This is not his first rodeo, Koop Meiners. So whether whatever, you play the mid. If you're not playing the midfield as a 10 or as an 8 or as a 6, and you're not able to move that ball, hitting a free kick, fine, bravo. You hit a free kick, whatever. In my opinion, I absolutely 100%. If the team has to move forward and be successful and be dominant, Koop Meiners has to have a second half of the season that is rivaled or better to what Thuram has done in the first half.
What Matteo is saying there, I think it might be a position problem with Koop Meiners. Maybe it needs to be moved back a little bit.
Do you guys think that do you think he's fit? Like physically?
Koop?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good point. A good point you bring.
I mean,
because
do you guys see like?
No, he's not fit.
I was looking at the Milan game. the guy looks like he's running into wet concrete. Like he's
Yeah.
slow. Like it's not the same guy that I remember at Atalanta was like physically dominant. Like he seems to be, I don't know. Maybe it's because, as Julia said, he came in late. Like in the preseason, he missed the when you have the heavy loads in the preseason. Now he's, I don't know, feeling a bit of, but he doesn't look to me like he's 100% fit and can handle 90 minutes with no problems. Like he seems to be struggling so much. And
So the
also
problem is the
quality.
trainers. So we have a problem with the trainers because we're getting a lot of injuries. Miners is not getting in shape. These freaking people
The
get injured.
trainers are
they-
new. The trainers are new, and
And
we
what-
have
I mean-
problem with injuries.
J Medical's
as
still the
well,
same.
So
I mean, like, but I maybe I'm getting this wrong, but I feel like J Medical comes in after they get injured, right?
Yes.
So we need to look at the Motta team, the one that trained the players, that the people that Motta brought with him, and that was the main fingers pointed at and Allegri last year when he had all those injuries. Like maybe we need to change those people he has. Now my question, and I think we discussed this: is it possible that Motta? I mean, he has coached what? Genoa, Spezia, Bologna, right? So like teams that they were playing just Serie A, Coppa Italia. Is it possible that these people don't have the experience to train players that they need to play on 5 different fronts? And that's why we're getting now all
no,
these
I
injuries.
think we are short. I think we overplay players and you get injured for the
Yeah.
reason.
100%.
Like Cambiaso happened, for example. He should not have played at the kind of minutes. And you had no choice. You had to make sure he plays. Coop Miners got an injury, got up in the front. We got the situation with Nico Gonzalez. So each situation is different. But at the end of the thing, we are short. We don't
But
have
it's
the
also
amount of players that we need to have to play.
But why it takes them 3 months to recover, though?
I know. Isn't Skamaka back on the pitch?
No, seriously.
Hasty out there. I want what Gasp is giving him. I want to live in Gasperini's house. I want whatever he's giving to give to me because I'm 47 years old. I want to feel like a 27-year-old.
For
You're
real.
gonna grow a new head. Whatever.
You guys heard what Capello said.
What did he say?
What
No,
is
I
it?
don't remember.
Okay, so when Capello was the coach of Juve, and he said this not long ago, but he said it already twice. He told Juventus not to have the training center where they had it because of the weather, the weather condition.
Yeah, Vinova.
That was gonna be brutal for training for the players. Nobody's saying that, but so you guys all saying about Motta, Allegri being a
But we moved the center.
Yeah, but it's still the same. And J Medical, I know Reno said that J Medical sucks. J Medical does not suck. J Medical is actually avant-garde, and all the athletes go there to get well. So
Anche regular
it's
people,
not
also
J-
regular people.
Right,
people
right, you
get
can
money
pay.
to Torino to
J
go there.
Medical is
Yeah.
not J Medical is not the problem. Now I'm not saying that the location is bad, all of that, but it's not the coaches, because every coach that comes in and brings their training, the personnel, we're having the same problems. There has to be something else that
It's the
we don't know
pressure.
about.
It's the pressure. It's different. It's different playing
Too many games.
Atalanta that you win or no win is the same.
Yeah.
It's different playing Bologna. When you play the Juve, you feel the pressure, and for sure
course,
the
of
injuries
course.
happen for the reason as well.
Yeah, so listen, everybody wants to beat Juve. I look at how we kind of represent and play in the Champions League, and how adversaries match up against us. And I'll be very honest with you. I went hopeful to Torino for that game. I did not expect the game that I saw against Manchester City, although Manchester, without key quality players in their lineup, that Foden, Rodri, that were injured or what have you. But you still have De Bruyne, you still have Holland, you still have a fairly strong team. But I find that our matchup in Europe and our ability to play football is much more successful on that front, in my opinion. Yes, we had that game against Stuttgart and what have you, but I feel I think that Motta feels that he can play his game. Serie A is, talking to the Ronaldo when Lukaku came over into Serie A. He's like, you score here, you're a goal scorer, like clutching and grabbing. I remember Ronaldo's first game for Juve. I think it was the goalie. I can't remember the team we played. Got some type of head injury or got all at the end of the game, and he came to, and the first thing he said, "Did he score on me?" And he said, no. They said, no. It's like, so you think of the competition, the ability of kind of like keeping, is that Sorrentino? I guess that's what,
Yeah.
And saying, like the competition. So, everybody, either you love us or you hate us. And I think that transcends to all teams right across any player who wants to make a mark in their career and say, I played against Juve and I did this. So I still believe that is a romantic situation for any soccer player who is of Italian origin, European or whatever, that they've played against Juventus and they played hard. I honestly think that this Motta team and Motta mentality is more set to European play than it is to the tight Serie A based on the players that we have. So that's a key figure. So we have to losing guys like Cabal and Bremer. Oh my God! Like you wanna take two bullseye daggers. Get those two guys out. Like loss of a Milik is like whatever, right? And not having Nico as a secondary as an option.
Nico has a lot of qualities. Wow.
You're right. So we've discovered two great young players in Thuram and Conceição. You want them to be a part of your thing with a Yildiz, and I do believe that we did play some good. I know I'm probably one or two people may hate me for this, but I actually like the speed that Yildiz and Conceição had with Weah. Not that Weah is a pure forward or whatever. I just love the speed. I love the quickness. I love the transition play. But these guys are quick, they're fast, they're focused, and these guys don't necessarily, I'm not going to say the word, they're healthy and they're on the pitch. So I mean, they make it well, but it's going to be an interesting market. I know we love to hate this time of year or any time of year when we're thinking, because you don't know whether you want to believe or you can believe or when things happen until you see them touch down in Caselle in Torino, or you see them in front of La Continasa or at the J Medical coming in and doing their medicals. But I hope for the best. I hope that Giuntoli, he's got a track record to get things done. He's a negotiator, and that he feels. I think the Befana's tomorrow. Is it Befana Epiphany tomorrow?
Befana, see.
Yeah, I don't want Cole. I want to find two. I'll be happy with one tomorrow. Right.
All right. So let speaking about what everybody will like tomorrow, right? We need to tap one more topic, the derby. There you go. The derby. So I want to know from all of you your predictions. All right. So we're like we're now in fifth place, fifth or sixth, but 3 points from the fourth place with like one game still we have to play. So if we win the derby and the one with Atalanta, I think we make it to fourth place, even something closer to third. So the derby is becoming like a big game. What are your predictions? I have two questions for you, and then we close with that. Each one of you tell me your predictions and your favorite player of this team. Go, Edo.
Gee, right on the spot.
Yes.
Prediction 2-0 Juve. That's my prediction.
2-0 Juve. Okay.
Favorite player on the team. It's a tough one. I'm gonna say Yildiz.
All right. Pietro.
So we're playing against the only other team that psychologically is worse than us. So we should win. I mean, I'm being honest. Probably, I don't think they'll score against us. So I would say 2-0. My favorite player, I think it is Ildiz, but I think I really, really, really want our number 9 to actually score both goals.
like everyone, believe me, nobody doesn't want that. It's just
I
like
know. Yeah, yeah.
it's getting too frustrating.
It is frustrating, but being a Juventino, until he's with us, I will live and die with him. So
Of course, like anyone sitting on the bench, like any person being the management team, any player.
Because you know what, deep down inside, Vlahovic is a Juventino.
Maybe he is, but is missing too much. It's like it drives me crazy. Sorry, guys.
My prediction. That's all. Personal, not against
all right.
Just personal.
All right. John, your prediction and favorite player.
I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna say 3 goals from Galese, Nardone, and Rubinato. No, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be with Pietro. I'm gonna push, although I believe, I hate to say it, pipe. I hope Vlahovic scores, but I don't think it's gonna come from the attack. I think it's gonna be a game that is got to be won right now based on the thing as
that's a fact.
Great. Matteo, I want to see those.
He's been drinking, Matteo.
So I would say if I had to be a betting man right now, I would look to the wings right now to do score. I know Conceição won't be available from what it seems. I would say Nico and Yildiz, one each, and maybe one from the mid. And my favorite player, I'm going to tell you, it's a toss-up. 19 is my favorite number and has been for many years. I love Leo. Leo will always be my boy from Zambrotta as well. So I'm going to say to the Thuram, as 19 is as classy of a number as you can get in soccer and in hockey in Canada. So 19, and it's going to be Kefran Thuram.
Nothing wrong with that. Pirlo.
So what I want to see for this game is us going under.
Oh, really?
Coming back. It's something we never saw.
Maybe not the game to do that, but okay.
And I want to see that taking out those things and show that we have them. Cojones, yes, my friend. And I see probably Nico. And I probably would be happy with Thuram scoring as well. Right now, favorite players that we have. Ildis is up there. Conceição. There are the games when he's like in the mood that is too fun to watch. And I really, really hope Cambiaso come back to the center of the project, because he's one the caliber player that, to me, he can make the difference for us.
So the prediction is what, 2-1?
2-1, yes. We go under, second half. Motta take the guys up on the wall and tell them, guys, you got to go out and win, and they win.
I am with Billo with the 2-1, but not going under first. I think our defense right now, like out at sea, lost. So I think we're going to get scored on, but it's a game we need to win. So I'm confident we'll win it. And I think the 3 best players of those right now, it's Yildiz, Conceição, and Thuram. Those are the 3 that right now are up here. Everybody else is just...
I think no one said Locatelli, and I'm very sad.
No. I'm with you. I don't agree with Giulio and Matteo. I'm with you. I love Locatelli. Locatelli at Vita. If I could sign him for life, I'd sign him right now. I'd actually start a GoFundMe page to make sure that happens.
I would do it. See what happens.
But I was afraid Matteo would just explode.
Well,
and
I'll tell you guys,
I would hear the bang from here.
I'll tell you guys something. A short story, great story actually. Was when we had our open house. We had the pleasure of having Ludovico Gatti, Federico, call in and chat with us. And I was supposed to meet him the night of the Manchester City game, and he was unaware of the amount of support and fan base in North America, that when I presented him, showed, and I texted him all of the links, whatever, he was just absolutely floored. And he actually shared all of that information with Fede, which he replied, from what I understand from a contact of mine, Yolanda, was, I already knew of Toronto and North America. He goes, you're not telling me something that I already don't know. So it was actually a pretty cool story once I heard back from Yolanda, a close family friend of the Gattis, who lives in Toronto, and was able to get me in contact. So hopefully sooner rather than later, maybe, Giulio, we can get Ludovico on here and have him speak. Hopefully we can
Yeah, that would be awesome.
With the time change, we can get him on.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you. So I will just close with a reminder. The pre-sale for the Juventus official fan club members for the World Cup games is going to close on January 21st.
You got it. Perfect.
January 21st. So if you haven't bought your tickets, please do so. There are a lot of tickets for the fan clubs. So for us, they're not going to expire till January 24th. We still have those spots, but you need to go use your code that you received via email and buy your ticket. So please do so. There is a clubs participating. John here is, the one pretty much coordinating everything. So buy your tickets, book your flights, because it's going to be fun. And join fan club. Join
the fan club.
Join the fan clubs.
It's worth it. It's a great family. Had the opportunity to meet a lot of great people and make friendships that will last a lifetime because of the fan clubs. So join your fan clubs, and we want to see everyone in Philadelphia, DC, and hot and humid Orlando when the time comes this coming June.
Amen to that. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for participating. We're gonna have a steady 2025 with the podcast, where I think we found a solution to be more consistent every week. So we should be present every week. Everybody, every member of any fan club is welcome to participate. Just shoot us a text and we will arrange for you to participate. Thank you again, everyone. Forza Juve. Fino alla fine.
Forza Juve, dai!
Fino alla fine. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, Juve, bye.
Ciao.